Right, so doing some training today. Just figured I'd record today, a little bit of me for me, accountability, and then just post it to the internet. So I'm back today shooting iron sight gun. Personally, just pretty much, I've come to the conclusion iron sight suck balls. I feel like anyone in the United States and practically everywhere else came to this conclusion years ago. Pretty much just for personal reasons and stuff for domestic matches, at least for this year. I'm still going to be shooting irons, mainly just because this year the heat's going to be in irons in production, at least in New Zealand, and then I want to be a part of the competitive team. So this year that's going to be iron sights. Hopefully Australasia's also next year if I make the team, which is always the goal. Apart from Australasia's next year, I have a feeling, apart from maybe a match classic, I'm going to be shooting dot guns. Yeah, so I've got a dot gun in the truck also, but the plan is just to shoot this today. So I'll flip the camera around and we'll have a look at the target setup. I've also got first person camera also today. Pretty much the goal recently has just been vision. So moving the eyes faster, finding a specific shot, a part of the target. So like the center is the analogy I like to use. Instead of just, oh, there's brown, I'm going to shoot in that general direction. So the setup today I've got is going to be essentially throttle control. So I've got far targets, close targets, double stacks. So there's a target, it must be at a guess probably 30 meters. It's further than a target I've ever shot in a match before. But that should make closer targets that you shoot in a match easier in theory. We've got two poppers, a double stack at about 7, and then a paper at 10-ish or 12-ish. Right, so this is going to be the cold run of the day. Right, so that's still at the end. My index was terrible. I could not see the front sight through my rear at all. And I didn't have that visual patience. I think that's just something I'm going to have to readjust coming from the dot gun. Once I did have some visual patience, dead center of the bulb in the calibration area. But we'll have a look at the rest of the targets. So this is classic target here. Alpha Charlie, I would say that's probably Charlie in all honesty. So what that is, that's just not visual patience. I'm pushing speed. I want to transition the gun up, and then this is a little bit of, it's again visual patience because of how far apart they are, and then just over transitioning off too early. Alpha Charlie on my draw, I would say probably the same thing. Those are my calibration hits on the steel. Now the other thing also I want to point out with the steel is I'm treating anything below the bulb as a mic, so I want them as actually to be poppers. Now this is at about 30, so it's Alpha Charlie. Now I'm very happy with this group. That at this distance, that's perfect. I just under transition the gun a little bit. So that I've been noticing in dry fire is I am going faster apart from that steel, which will tidy up. But just visually stopping the gun. And also I am pushing the gun around more, like I'm trying to transition faster, like my speed's been a big problem. And essentially just as I'm transitioning the gun faster, like there's brown I can shoot, which is not what I need to be doing, especially shooting a minor power factor gun. Right, so we're going to shoot this again. I'm going to be much more patient on the steel, wait for the correct sight alignment. But that's the purpose of this double stack here. So shooting something is like 0.16, 0.17 split and transition. And then you're going to steel, I'd say it'd be about 18 yards away. So just the level of confirmation you need is just vastly different. Right, so it's 3 shots for 2 steel. I over transitioned the gun a little bit and it was high to the left. It just went over the top left edge of the bulb. So that was a 629. Up now, so I'm going to go treat this double stack as 2 individual targets. So draw on the top, far, middle, bottom, steel, steel. Draw on the top, far, middle, bottom, steel, steel. Okay, I've sorted out my index on that steel. It's going very well. Alright. Well, my fibre fell out of my gun yet again. But the red fucking popper looks like a fibre. I had a very bad grip. Off the draw, I still split the gun fast, but I'm not expecting good hits on that far paper because of it. But we'll go have a look. I was actually surprised, there was 17 splits there. Alpha Charlie, 2 Charlie, 2 Alpha on that, 1 for 1 on the steel, and it looks like Alpha High Charlie. Spec group's actually pretty good, just not where I want it. Right, so I've busted out my production optics gun. I said I wasn't going to, but with the front fibre out, and also just what I kind of see is I already know what I need to work on for dry fire, and that's essentially just pulling the trigger when the sights are in the center of the target, pulling the second shot when the sights are in the center of the target, and then transitioning off. I already know that. I want to see, just for using this as a training aid, because I haven't shot this much back to back in same sessions, how obvious is that from a shot calling that I can see it as it's happening compared to the irons gun. And then a little bit of the time. I don't think the time's going to be, we'll see. So that was just for reference. I'm going to shoot the same order as the last time, and that was 5.79, and that was 1 for 1 on steel. And I haven't patched these targets, so I'm going to do that and then come back. This is me. Double. Puff. No, I'm not lifting my arm, just going straight. Puff. Straight. Steel, paper, touch. Trigger freeze on that, and I think it was a mic. Looking at that, as I transitioned back. That was a 5.41 compared to a 5.8 with the trigger freeze, but that did result in a mic. I already transitioned off the target and then went back. So there's an 18 split and then an 18 transition and a 0.71 split. So if that was a 0.2, it would have been less than 5. So if that was without the trigger freeze, it would have been roughly less than 5 seconds, whereas 5.8 or 5.4, no 5.8 I believe with the irons. I pushed confirmation on that far target, so I'm very interested in seeing what it's going to be. I was just kind of like, I was very minimal, but so much easier with just the dot. So there was just no visual fucking patience at all, which for the final run, I would have liked to say I worked on it a bit better. That was my first shot. I transitioned off the target with the trigger freeze. I was like, oh shit, and just threw the gun back and fired at it. 2 Alpha, and then an Alpha Charlie here. Now this target here, this shows you everything you need to know about irons versus dot. The amount of confirmation, well, the little amount of confirmation I needed for an Alpha Charlie was astronomical, like that, yeah. Now it's the expectation of production optics is you just go faster. So it's not necessarily easier because you're shooting against other people with dots. I just want to push it. But yeah, it was very interesting to see the amount of confirmation difference needed between the two sighting types. Right, so I actually found another mag. I saw the dot gun on my holster. The intention was to shoot the irons gun for the entire day, just the fibre falling out. It's just motivation just to shoot this, so I might shoot this for one run and then shoot the irons gun. Alright, so it was meant to be a 6-shot drill and it was 8. Again, off camera, going 1 for 1, strong hand, so we'll have a look. Looks like Alpha close Charlie with the strong hand double action drawer. This is at about 10 or 12ish. Very close Charlie. If it's those kind of Charlies, I'm more or less okay with. Now this is very surprising. So again, with the dot gun, Alpha Charlie Stronghand. So yeah. Right, so that's 2 Alpha, 2 Charlie. Again, wet steel. The fibre actually really helps you roughly align it, and then you can perfect with that black bar I was talking about. If you had a look at my sights, the front was, this is the rear, the gun was counted like that essentially, low left, before I even pull the trigger. So yes, I quite often pull the shots low left with my trigger pull, but the gun was going to shoot low left before I even pulled the trigger. And then, in all honesty, that target is like an Alpha in the center, and then you have the Charlie line, and it's like dot 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 dot, and I guarantee you they're all about 5mm off the Alpha line.